Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in on the pilot. Yes, the pilot shoot of My Father's Cave. I am so excited about what it is that God is about to do with this program. So, about My Father's Cave, because I felt I should give you a bit of background into it before we roll out the episodes. My Father's Cave came as a result of, I looked around, and for the longest time I have been attending, women conferences, and especially the for me it was the Daughters of Zion, and we get empowered and you will be taught about life and all these things. But then I realized the more aware I became of myself, the men that were around me did not understand how to handle me. And it was not the first time I was, coming across this. So we have a generation where the women have been empowered, but the men around them do not understand how to handle the empowered woman. Hence, the need for the man to also be empowered. And I realized that one of the key influences in a man's life is the father. So whether it is the biological father, whether it is an adoptive father, whether it is a spiritual father, and whether it is the ultimate father, God, if you are a believer, how the relationship works out with these different fathers allows them then to show up in life the way that they do. And so when we talk about My Father's Cave, we're basically giving the men a platform to understand what is purpose. What does it mean to be a man? I once heard and I was taught that a woman cannot bring out a man's masculinity. Only another man can bring out a man's masculinity. That is why we have men who are in their 40s, men who are in their 50s, but they are exhibiting some feminine tendencies because they were raised by women. And when you're raised by a woman, she will bring out the feminine energy in you as a man. But when you're raised and there's a man there's a balance. So your masculine energy also finds expression. So here at My Father's Cave, we are bringing in discussions that allow that masculinity to come out. So I'm going to be inviting some of my friends that I've made throughout the years, mentors that I've spoken to, leaders, just basically the men influences in my life, and also those that God will allow to come in on set. So that is the backstory of My Father's Cave. Why is this necessary? I believe because we have the red pill community has come up, and men are also rising up and saying, yes, we have our rights, and it's all a bit too toxic. We want to bring a balance to it and insight to it so that we can be a voice in this generation, so that femininity is not tarnished. And now women also understand how to handle men, so that now men have a voice. And that is why we have My Father's Cave. In the old times, men went into the caves, and we've heard of, man cave, and I'm going into my cave. The idea and the concept of cave is that is where they found solace when they were running away from danger. When you look at David, you find that when he was running away from Saul, there are moments that he was in the cave. So that became a place of refuge. So where do men run to when life becomes too hard, when the vicissitudes of life, show up in your face, when life is lifing, yeah? Where do you as a man run to? So My Father's Cave just gives you that environment to be able to get into that space. We are looking to be in a cave one day. But don't worry, it will be beautiful. The idea is to provide a platform for the man to get a place where they can retreat and actually get the front seat to conversations about things that actually affect them, and to give solutions, because we're not just here to talk about the problem, but we also offer solutions. So join me on this journey. I am so excited about what God is doing, and I am hoping that you will be with me every step of the way. We look forward to interacting and bringing to you content that will be relevant to the men in your life. And if you are a man, other fellow men that you can share the content with, and actually even begin your own discussions. We want to get discussions going on. So this is My Father's Cave. Stay tuned for more content. Stay tuned for awesome times. Stay tuned for healing. Stay tuned for enjoyment. And as my mother would say, make sure you thrive and enjoy while at it. See you there.